Hi everyone. Welcome to a very new episode of Quietly Ambitious. Over the last few years, we've seen a lot of change in terms of how people take their health and fitness in India. People are now consciously moving towards healthy eating, working out regularly. Whereas I've seen that in the last few years, workout has become like a routine for a lot of people like us. And one of the brands which actually shaped this movement was Cult Fit. Today, joining on this podcast is Mrs. Prachita Pujari, who's been with Cultfit and she's shaped up the brand to what it is today. She has a diverse experience of 14 years and she has worked across travel, fitness, and tourism. And we listen to her hearing as a marketeer. Also, currently, she's taking a break and focusing more on motherhood, whereas she's also a fellow mother of a 2.5-year-old beautiful baby girl. So, Prachita, thanks a lot for joining us on this podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for the very generous introduction.
So no, definitely it's not generous. I mean, it's just showing what you've done all through your career. So you transitioned across industries, right? So what was that one binding force or something which shaped up your career as a marketeer as your experience?
So the one thing that is common across all the different industries has been marketing and has been brand marketing. In fact, very early on, during my MBA days only, I realized that, finance is not for me and brand marketing is something that I could potentially pursue. I started my career in Aircel, which is a telecom company. And fortunately, it gave me an opportunity to work in a brand marketing team and to sort of get a first-hand experience of what it entails. And it clicked with me and I really enjoyed, and somehow I was good at it also. So that is something that I, started building on within Aircel. And then post that, I joined a startup because startups were coming up during that time. So I joined a travel company and I did brand marketing for them. It was a very, very different experience from an established sort of a telecom setup. But it also energized me and, gave me, it sort of opened up a lot of doors for me. And I thought that this is something that I could pursue and go and double down on, in fact. So that happened. And as luck would have it, I shifted gears, joined a health and fitness startup, Cultfit, like you said, very early on. Again, destiny and fate smiled upon me that I joined them at such an early stage. And I was very lucky to be a part of the entire sort of building the brand, expanding the brand. So I saw the whole 0 to 10 part of it, and also 10 to 100 scale up also. So yeah, I spent a good almost 7.5 years with them before I decided to take a step back and focus on the latest priority in my life, which is my kid. But yeah, to answer your question, what sort of linked all of them is my love and passion for brand marketing and getting to do good work in brand and building the brand across all these different companies and industries.
Wow, so that's a lot of learnings for our viewers. You've been with Cult for 7.5 years.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, you were with Cult for 7.5 years. What led you to, what was that one thing? Definitely would be your love for marketing, but then moving to a startup and then Cult they were just building up a team, right? So what led you to stay for 7.5 years? Because it's a very long journey if you look at anyone's career.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's also very tremendous because staying with a company and seeing their 0 to 1 and 1 to 100 growth is also significantly a great part for someone's career. But what led you for you to stay in the company for 7.5 years?
I think it was the kind of work that kept coming my way. It was the teams also that they were building, the founders were building upon. So, and third was the passion for fitness and health and fitness, because that was top down. And that is something that the founders were very passionate about. And they went down to the employees also. So I think these three things is what sort of pushed me to stay for such a long time. By the work, I mean, Cultfit was revolutionary in the sense that it redefined what fitness was. It broke the general norms of, the perception of fitness being mundane, boring, doing it alone, into a more community-driven thing. And that in itself, the kind of work that it required, getting consumer insights, building the proposition, putting it out in a positioning, building the brand book, etc., taking it to life, seeing it go live, not just in a singular space, but across multiple cities, etc., across different segments of fitness, not just physical fitness, but even mental health, food, everything, the whole spectrum on the health thing. Actually, sort of, there was a lot of work, there was a lot of learning happening simultaneously. It was very challenging, which was also sort of keeping me on my toes and sort of motivating me to solve those problems. Working with different teams, everybody used to sort of work collaboratively. So that was one of the main things. The second, like I said, the team. It was a group of very, very passionate people. And the kind of culture that was there, it wasn't like different teams and different hierarchies. Everybody was working collaboratively. You would take up projects and you would work together on different projects and show impact. I think one thing that was very important in Culfit is that you have to show impact. And that is also sort of very self-motivating. So again, working with very passionate, great minds was the second point. And the third thing is we were actually doing something for the health and fitness of the country. And we were making health accessible. We were making fitness accessible. We were opening up doors to something that was, prior to that, a very alien sort of a subject. We were breaking myths and barriers down. And that was also, again, because I also was very passionate about health and fitness since a very early age. And I was also getting to learn a lot of things in that sphere. So that also sort of motivated me, and this continued for as long as it could till personal constraints sort of came up and I had to change paths.
Oh, so that's great. I mean, I'm sure that you worked in a very high pressure, environment with all this, what you've taken up. So, because you worked with a lot of agencies, you worked with a lot of consumers, you worked with celebrities, how did you manage all this in a high pressure situation? Because as you said, it's important to show results, or it's important to show impact in cult, right? So how did you manage all of it, and how did you make sure that you maintain your cool amongst all this?
It wasn't always the case. I would lose my cool more often than I would like. But it was high pressure. There was obviously you had to deliver on things, etc. You have to work with very, very different, like you said, agency mindset, and then within the company mindset, and then celebrity mindsets, etc. But I think just sort of managing expectations, being clear in what you want to achieve, being very articulate about the goals, and sort of being upfront in the communication around that helps. So that there is people don't feel blindsided, or they don't feel like misaligned with what you're trying to achieve. So it's very important to get them on board to what you're trying to achieve early on, and sort of work with them towards achieving that goal. So I think doing that sort of helped me navigate all these different aspects.
Okay. On a lighter note, how many celebrities have you worked with?
Actually, quite a few. Thanks to Culfit, I worked with Hrithik, and I got to meet KL Rahul and Tiger Shroff and Ranveer Singh and Milan Soman, and
so which
stopped in my mind.
I'm sure, because even I've seen your photos with all those celebrities. So which was the best experience? Which celebrity meeting was the best experience by far?
I think every celebrity interaction had its pros and cons.
You can
It was fun. There was fun. I used to get very nervous before a celebrity meeting, but most of the celebrities are extremely chill, at least. And the celebrities that we work with were also very passionate about health and fitness.
Yeah.
So they also sort of, the skin was in the game, it sort of felt like, which was actually very good to be around and to know and all of that. So I think most of the celebrity interactions were good.
So that's a very that's a very diplomatic answer. I let the viewers know. But anyways, moving to the next question now, Prachita. Let's talk about consumer experiences, which you took up towards the end of your span at Cultfit. So what did that expose you to? And being a marketeer, how is consumer experience different? And secondly, what sort of learnings did you have, and would you like to share with our viewers?
Got it. So from being a brand marketer, where you actually do a lot of thinking and strategizing in your boardrooms, etc., member experience was a completely different experience, because you actually had to go to the surface level and figure out everything that was wrong and how that is impacting the experience that the consumers are having at the centers, and what you can possibly do to better it.
Okay.
So it was a more practical this thing, and a lot of minor things that we used to take for granted came to life. And that also entailed me working across multiple teams, because right from ops to center expansion, to business, everything, every decision that you make has an impact on the consumer's experience. So you have to sort of work across those teams, and you have to sort of reinforce a lot of these things, because sometimes when making business decisions, you put what the customer needs and wants, and the hygiene, in fact, the hygiene stuff that is required at the back. So how do you basically pull that into the front? How do you ensure that that is also priority, or that is also taken into consideration while making a business decision, was where the majority of the challenge lied in this new role. Very different from brand marketing, I would say.
Yeah.
But the common thread, of course, is that the members, what the consumers, what they want, what is best for them, and how you can provide what is best for them.
Oh, so you had a marketing experience and a consumer experience, which was a great learning for any marketeers. Now let's talk about COVID, because I remember then when COVID has stuck in 2020, CultFit was the first one to adapt and get all the, all the sessions online, and they had a pretty good turnaround time. So would you want to talk about that experience? Because CultFit was the pioneer. They were the first ones to introduce, online yoga classes or online Zumba classes.
Yeah.
So how did that happen, and how did you turn it around so quickly,
Right.
while you were there?
So when COVID happened, our centers had to be shut immediately.
Yeah.
So, and while the other businesses probably had like a slow, had to gradual this thing change was happening. In our case, it was, so, from 100 to 0 completely. Our centers were completely shut and people were locked in. So that sort of came as a, like a jhatka, if I can use that. And then we decided, what are we going to do? I mean, this is our bread and butter. And suddenly, there's a complete halt. Fortunately, we had an online product that was in the works. We had not launched it yet because, it was not, there were still changes, etc. happening to it. But we thought this is a great opportunity to launch it. Let's, this is the silver lining that we're looking for, and sort of let's make the best of it. So we took the product. I mean, of course, it wasn't complete and there were certain glitches, etc. But we took the product and we took it live. And that itself, that was a game changer. What also helped in this case is because everybody was in lockdown, including the celebrities and the influencers. They had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
So we thought that, why not reach out to them and make them, let them offer workout classes online. So we set up a remote production capability. The entire company, the teams, even, all came together. The tech was obviously taking care of the tech part. And then because ops centers were shut, etc., all the other teams became available, like the trainers and the ops and all. So they also sort of came together to ensure, how can we do this remote production setup? How can we basically, get these films edited and then, take it live? How can we market it? So a lot of teams from different this thing came together to work on this online project. And we reached out to celebrities, we reached out to influencers. Everybody had the time of the day. Everybody also believed in the mission that, health and fitness is important even during this time, and there should not be any break, right? Even if you're stuck at home, so what? You can do at home workouts. So they believed in that, and they basically helped with giving us content, and we took it live and we marketed it, and people really appreciated the fact that, their fitness journeys continue. And we started innovating on that also. We launched many more online programs. We launched energy meter, etc. We tried to gamify it and stuff. The content was free initially to start with, and then we monetized it later on.
Yeah.
But all the gamification also sort of helped. Getting the shares on social media helped. A lot of people were talking about it. There was a lot of buzz around it. So like I said, everybody just sort of came together at that time and brought this product to life.
Yeah, I mean, Cult did a phenomenal job in pulling that through, and I'm sure marketing team does have a great role to play here. So what is, which brings me back to your experience of consumer marketing. What is that, what do you, in your experience, across industries where you worked, what do you think is that one underrated thing about consumer marketing which people assume and which is very difficult to execute in the real world, being a marketer? Yeah.
So a lot of, I think, assumptions come from the fact that people know what the customers want. I think consumer inciting research, getting periodic researches done, feedback loops are very, very important, because at the end of the day, you have to find what is working for the customers, what is not, and you have to keep evolving the product and your communication and all of that, accordingly. So I think that consumer inciting part is very, very key. And I think that is something that should be sort of focused on. I think a lot of traditional FMCG companies put a lot of focus on FMCG. I don't know if startups do that or not, because in startups the priorities are different, etc. But I think consumer inciting is something that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Oh, so definitely, I mean, consumer inciting and marketing go hand in hand. Now let's talk about your current phase, which you're in. So what has these years, or months of break taught you, about ambition, about your career, which you've taken currently?
It has not been months; it's been a year plus. It feels like months, but unfortunately, it's been a year plus. But what it has taught me is that when I took the break, I was at a phase in life where I was a little bit fatigued by all the amount of effort that I'd put into the company, and I was a little overwhelmed with the new member in my life as well, and the kind of energy and attention that demands. I think now it just sort of, I have learned that balance is important. While you do give your 120%, 130% to your career, and that also sort of validates you and gives you something in return. But in life, priorities shift, and once they shift, you have to find what is the right balance for you, what works for you. And that is something that I have come to learn and to make peace with that right now.
Okay, so yeah, it's a great learning, because I'm also a mom, so I understand what what women go through and what do parents go through. And so, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is the next step for you when I talk about marketing, or in your life or your career? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
See, I used to really enjoy what I used to do in terms of marketing, etc. And I want to continue on that, because, like you said, it's 14 years of experience, and I want to actually sort of give back whatever I have learned. I have had a great learning experience with Cultfit especially. And I want to be in a position in which I can sort of put that learning, give it back. Whatever mistakes I would have made in this learning process, I get a chance to correct them. Do it right, in whatever capacity. So I do want to get back to a working environment, and I do want to sort of get back to doing this role, maybe with greater responsibility, etc. So yeah, that is what I see in the works. Sort of getting back in the game, and not just half-heartedly, but full-heartedly, and back with a bang sort.
Yeah, I'm sure that, from the kind of experience you have, a lot of startups and companies will benefit from it. And so let's talk about quiet ambition. What is that one mindset or principle which you follow, which has kept you quietly ambitious throughout your journey?
Got it. I think it's sort of letting the work speak for itself. I have put in a lot of effort and sort of build my profile and career through all the years. And I think I've done some impactful work. Obviously, the opportunities also given to me were sort of helped in that process. But I think just letting the work speak, sometimes when people talk about, what a great company or what a great brand Cult is, it makes me feel proud. And I know that I've been sort of a part of that development. So I think letting the work speak is what has helped me in this.
Yeah, that's a very good philosophy, and a lot of marketers don't follow that. But I'm happy to hear that from you. And definitely, whatever Cult is, at least we are very proud that we know you, so we can go and tell that one of the people we know has built the brand. So that is definitely because of the marketing team. And that brings me to the end of our podcast today. Thank you so much, Prachita.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much for letting people know how you are quietly ambitious and how you want to get back to work and build something new for yourselves. And so our viewers, let us know what you want to hear about in the next, in the comment section. And we'll be back with more such episodes where you learn about quiet ambition and people's journey on this podcast. Thank you.